Good morning, people. How are you doing? I am Scott. That is Bo. There is no co-pilot in the co-pilot seat, with the exception of old Coach Mauve Pill, or Mauve Pill, depending on how you pronounce it. Today is the 15th day of August, 2022. It is bright and early, 7 o'clock in the morning in Tampa, Florida. It's been a couple days since I made a video. I certainly hope I don't let you down with today's, or piss too many people off with today's. You know me. I'm still sick, as you can probably hear, as you can probably see. I thought I was going to be getting better. I thought I was getting better. But as you can see, I guess, breathing is a little difficult, which is why I'm enjoying a nice cigarette. There, I put it out. You happy, fuckers? I can't even fucking talk about it. Maybe it's because I'm shut in. Maybe it's because I'm just hanging out at the house all the fucking time. All day, every day, staring at the walls. But no, it's not. You can't even fucking walk Bo as little as I used to walk Bo before getting sick. So, I don't know what it is. I have one of those doctors that just kind of goes through the motion and does the bare minimum of what has to happen. They took a series of blood tests. They do it twice a year, supposedly. And then they supposedly go over the results. They just never did. So who knows? I don't know. I'm seriously thinking about taking Theraflu again. But at least now I can sleep. This time around I can sleep. So I don't know. I have no idea. Somebody down here near me came down with the old Rona. So maybe that's what it was to start with. I don't fucking know. I have noticed one thing though. Since I gotten sick, there's been a number of people who are followers who contact me, say, hey, how you doing? A lot of folks are worried about me and so forth, but there's another side of that coin. Now, once I got sick, they just said, fuck off, Scott, and they're gone. And I don't get that, but there you go. That's a thing, I suppose, nowadays. Who knows? Anyway, this video is not about me. That's just an update on my situation and why I look like shit, to be honest with you. No, not some wild fucking weekend. I've been sitting here the whole fucking time like I was really since Aunt BB left, and really since before Aunt BB got here for quite a while. No, nothing like that. Nothing interesting, nothing exciting. Just sitting here and staring at the fucking walls. And getting shorter and shorter and shorter of breath. But I did lose 20 pounds. Which I'm sure I've gained back by now. with some bonus pounds to boot. Anyway. Hi. It's been a long, quiet weekend. Anyway, I'm back. I got an email today. Thought I would share with you. But in order to set that up, I need to talk about this. Who is this Wallace? Is it Wallace? It's not Wallace. What the fuck is his name? Wallace was the other Scotsman guy. This fucking long-haired dude who does videos now, I think he was EC or some shit, or EU or some shit. You know who I'm talking about. I've cussed this piece of shit out before. He's made some video for 9 minutes long, which is getting all this attention from people on Twitter. Oh my God, 9 minutes of truth. In which he comes out and says, and he's my age, and I'm sure he's rich, and he comes out and says that he spent his whole fucking life believing naively, according to him, that there were elements in all governments that were genuinely interested in your best interests. Genuinely interested in your best interest. And how naive he's been, and how the last 2 years have now taught him, showed him, oh my God, he had a realization that all governments are out to fucking sell you into slavery with your children. They all hate your guts. You're just fucking batteries. Oh my God, he's been red-pilled. Like old Coach Red Pill. And everyone's like, oh my God, listen to this dude. Oh, he's great. Oh, he's brilliant. He's a jackass. And he's a fucking moron. To be honest. First of all, he's my age. And he's just now come to the conclusion that some fucking governments out there, some agencies out there, some parts of elements of governments have been fucking people over and trying their level best to fuck people over. Has he never heard of the FBI? Has he never heard of the Tuskegee experiments? What show has this motherfucker been watching? This stupid motherfucker been watching? We lied and lied and lied and lied and then told the Dixie Chicks to shut the fuck up so we could go bomb the shit out of people for money in Iraq. And then we lied and lied and lied so we could regime change Gaddafi. We lied and lied and lied so we could regime change fucking Assad. And, you know, you say, well, Scott, yeah, but that's other countries. How the fuck do we get those things, those accomplishments for the money, for the fucking national interest? We get them by sending our fucking people who signed up, believing in our system, believing in our government, believing in our military. We send those dudes and women overseas to get fucked up and blown to pieces for that very same fucking money. And we call those people our best and brightest and bravest. Meanwhile, those people who send them, their kids go to fucking Yale, Harvard, Princeton. They ain't going over there. What show has he been watching? What, seriously? What fucking show has he been watching? I would like that dude with the long hair and the fucking Irish or Scottish, whatever fucking dialect he's got. He's all down to earth and oh my God, he's a truth teller. I would love for him tomorrow to go out and the guy comes by to pick up his fucking garbage in front of his $1 million fucking townhome. I'd love for him to go out there and just smack that guy in the face. Because that guy's the government. And all government's out to get you. So go smack your garbage man in the fucking face. Tell you what, I like that guy just on the off chance. I'm certainly not calling for it. But on the off chance something catches fire in his house. When the firemen come by to save his life and his children's lives and put out the fire and save the belongings and the possessions that he's cherished for his entire fucking life, when they come up there and they hook up the hose and they go to get to work, just go out there and smack him in the face. Because all government bad. the fuck up, you stupid motherfuckers. That's what government is. The guy who brings you your fucking mail. That's what government is. You stupid motherfuckers. These rich pieces of shit, through Fox News and places like that. I'm going to show you something interesting about fucking what's happened to our government recently. And some of you will be surprised. Some of you will be shocked. But through Fox News, I've heard this meme developing. Oh my God, all the problems with business. They're not the ones pointing fingers at Putin saying it's all Putin's fault. You know who they're pointing the finger at? You. Lazy workers. People don't want to work. Somehow or another, COVID-19 made everybody lazy. That's the meme. That's the story. And that's bullshit. People, everybody I know, I'm the only one who's disabled in this fucking neighborhood. And I'm getting worse by the fucking day, apparently. But people in the neighborhood, they're all working. But they'll watch Fox News and they'll tell you, fucking lazy workers. My landlord had to trim some trees, and I had to organize it because he wants to save as much fucking money as possible. Look at this shit I live in. Because he's a greedy fucking landlord. And the guy tells him, the contractor tells him, oh yeah, I could have come Thursday after signing the contract, and he promised to come Thursday. Now he's going to come 3 weeks from now. And you know what he does? He puts off that lie on his own fucking workers. Oh, I can't get no one to work. Yet, he's got 3 crews running 24/7. I can't get no one to work. Nobody wants to work. Lazy workers. And my fucking landlord, because he watches Fox News, repeats that shit to me. A guy who is disabled and unable to work, would love to work. Do you think this is how I vision myself? Living this shitty-ass fucking life? Lazy fucking work. You stupid motherfucker. He's a contractor. He overpromised. And yet, even something going, that fucking small, that, who gives a shit? It's just naturally inclined for him to spit out that fucking Fox News talking point about those lazy workers. Let me tell you something. This is the email that I got from New York Times. Somebody has helped me with a New York Times subscription. Thank you very much, by the way. And so, once a day, I get an email featuring one of their articles that they want to promote. This one, from New York Times Morning, says, "Good morning. Employers have a new tool in the struggle with employees over workplace power, constant monitoring." That's New York Times, boys and girls. That's not some shit that Scott wrote back in, 2010, which sounds exactly like some shit that Scott wrote back in 2010. That's New York Times today. I'm going to read a little bit of this for you, just so you can get a flavor of what we're talking about. Okay? Quote, we see this is by, stuff just disappears. I don't know. The stuff up here just disappeared. Here it is. David Lionheart. Quote, "We see you. In the back and forth over workplace power, American employers have been getting the better of employees for the past few decades. Companies have been getting bigger, giving them greater ability to set prices and wages. Labor unions have been shrinking. Evil unions, leaving workers with less ability to negotiate for raises. And court rulings, especially from the Supreme Court, have tended to side with companies over workers or regulators." You can see these trends in the macroeconomic data. The share of the economy's output that flows into corporate profits have almost doubled since the mid-70s, while the share flowing to workers' compensation has fallen. Or just consider this chart. This is a chart that they published. It will zoom in and eventually. There we go. That is median family income versus stock prices. As you can see, from 1945 to about 1980, relatively similar. A little swell for median income, a bigger swell for stock prices, of course, but the two were kind of tied together. What is that date? What is that date? That date. Yes, boys and girls, that is the Reagan Revolution. The same revolution, by the way, economically speaking, that we imposed on the people of Chile in 1973. But instead of bombing the shit out of them and then installing a fucking evil junta in the name of Pinochet, which, by the way, Coach Red Pill's a big fan of. Instead of doing that, what we got was an actor. They got you an actor to tell you all that shit from the Chicago School of Economics and Milton Friedman. All that shit was going to be good for you. How'd that work out? Huh? How'd that work out? You see that line for median family income? I'm surprised they even let us have that much. And look at that line for stock prices. If they can't fucking use a brutal fucking general and install a brutal fucking junta to run their goddamn economic brick ideology, they'll use an actor. Two fine examples. One, the junta, Al-Sisi. Two, the actor, Zelensky. Just keep that in mind for a second. Let me read a little more for you. Continuing. Quote, "As you can see, stock prices and family incomes tracked each other somewhat closely in the decades after fucking World War II, but they no longer do. The New York Times has just published a story that examines the latest manifestation of companies having the upper hand on workers. The story by Jody Cantor and Arya Sundaram is called The Rise of the Worker Productivity Score, and it's a result of months-long investigation. It describes technology-based companies monitoring that often have Big Brother quality, tracking workers' keystrokes, and more." Jody and Arya write, excuse me again, "In lower-paying jobs, the monitoring is already ubiquitous. It's not just Amazon, where the second-by-second measurements became notorious, but also Kroger cashiers, UPS drivers, and millions of others. Now, digital productivity monitoring is also spreading among white-collar jobs and roles that require graduate degrees. Many employees, whether working remotely or in person, are subject to trackers, scores, idle buttons, or just quiet, constantly accumulating records." employees at United Health Group can lose out on raises or bonuses if they have a low keyboard activity score. Some radiologists have scoreboards on their computer screens that compare their inactivity time with that of colleagues. In New York, the transit system has told some employees they can work remotely 1 day a week if they agree to full-time monitoring. And they go on. And there's a story in here about a fucking... There's a story in here about a hospice chaplain who has to run by and do drive-bys on people in the hospice because they're monitoring how many people who are about to die are visited by the chaplain. Why? Because it's a hospice. But is it really a hospice? No, it's a big fucking business that bought up all these hospices and run it like a big fucking business. In New York, the transit system told some employees they can work remotely 1 day a week if they agree to full-time monitoring of their entire fucking lives. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, it was the same that I wrote the very first fucking article I ever posted on my website in 2007. It's the same today. In spite of that dickhead, Scottish dickhead or Irish dickhead, whoever the fuck he is, coming to the realization that his garbage man is out to get him because he's part of government. Shut the fuck up. In spite of that, you need to understand what the real goddamn enemy here is. And it is not unions. It is not workers who are too damn lazy. It is not your government. Did your government come up with 9/11, carry it out, do it, in order to justify a global war of terror that they're going to rage all across the fucking world against anybody who stands in the way of this, by the way, the new world order they had planned, the Great Reset? Did your government do that to you? No. Don't be fucking stupid. When Aunt Bibi was here, I had to, thanks to her, I was able to get to the store, to the DMV, and finally get my mom's car registered to me and get all that worked out. And it took 2 hours. And thanks to a very helpful person at the DMV, I know it sounds weird to say, but it's true, able to skirt not only her, but she actually had to go get somebody else. And they were able to find ways to skirt the process and help me get the thing transferred into my name and then registered. And they worked, 2 of them worked for an hour. One of them worked 2 hours on my case alone. Just one fucking little dude who walked up with a problem and his mother's fucking death certificate. And it took them 2 hours of working together to help me out. That, by the way, was somebody in the government. I seriously doubt she had anything to do, or either the two of them had anything to do with 9/11. Talk about baby with the bathwater. But you know who would love you to make that connection? To blame all this shit. Blame it all on the fucking lazy workers. Blame it all on bad government. I'll tell you exactly who would love that. These folks over at the World Economic Forum. Because they're the ones doing this shit to you, boys and girls. They're the ones who bought and paid for and are telling corrupt members of government what to do to you. They are the ones, boys and girls, who reflect the types of people like fucking Bill and Melinda Gates from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Gavi that are buying up government and replacing it with their partners. Big fucking business. Why? Oh, gee, I don't know why. I don't know why. Why the hell would big business do that? Gee, I fucking wonder why. Indigo Olivier here, I don't know, at Indigo Olivier, posted this from In These Times. In 2020, taxpayers gave more money to Lockheed Martin than the Department of Education. Our elected officials believe that $1.7 trillion for Lockheed's F-35 fighter jet is a worthwhile investment, but $1.7 trillion in student debt relief is just a step too far. Now, the numbers don't bear this out. However, the $1.7 trillion for the F-35 fighter jet program, the life of the program, is accurate. And it's going to be more expensive, according to Reason magazine, April of 2022. Congress has been buying planes that lack crucial parts and haven't undergone full testing, so costly upgrades will eventually be needed. But that is a $1.7 trillion F-35 fighter jet program handed over to Lockheed Martin. The reality is, Lockheed Martin doesn't get $1.7 trillion a year. We're looking at 2020, $75 billion. What was the budget for Department of Education? The entire Department of Education? $66 billion. No, $666 billion. Interesting number, right? $666.9 billion. This is U.S. Department of Education's annual budget. And it says that it's in 2017, the annual budget was $97.7 billion. How is that $666 billion? I don't understand that. But here's the budget shortfall. This is a budget graph. And it's from educationdata.org. But look what happened in 2017, 2018. That's right, boys and girls. That's your friend Donald Trump. He dropped it from $97.7 billion to $7.1 billion. Because fuck those poor people. Everyone's screeching about Donald Trump today as if he was some kind of hero. He wants your kid to have the education of the average fucking burger flipper. While his had jobs in government. What is the point I'm trying to make here? The point I'm trying to make here is very simple. I've told you before that the whole thing with the Edward Snowden bullshit, the exposing of shit that had already been exposed, this PowerPoint slide presentations of shit that had already been exposed. decades before in some cases. Echelon, people knew about Echelon and Prism and all of that shit. He didn't expose jack shit, but he had better marketing. But the point was, they needed to push the ability for big business to be able to gather, collect, analyze, sell, monetize your personal data. And that was brought about by a thing called CISA. Now, CISA had previously been called CISPA, and it was not popular because, obviously, it was handing over the collection and control of data, your personal data, and surveillance to big business. And it's not a good idea. Everyone knew that was not a good idea. It wasn't a good idea to allow fucking government agencies to do it, and it's certainly not a good idea to allow random fucking businesses to do it because they had fucking money. But 800 fucking major corporations 6 months prior to them coming out with their Edward Snowden story, their bullshit Edward Snowden story, brought to you also by Glenn Greenwald. 800 businesses paid a bunch of money to Congress critters to get them elected and to make sure that they would vote the right way on CISPA because they wanted CISPA. CISPA represented an opportunity for them to make a lot of fucking money. And not only a lot of money, but also to exert a lot of fucking control and power over their own employees, and in some cases, their customers. So CISPA comes along, they push that, and they get them all elected that year. And lo and behold, along comes the Edward Snowden psyop. And they say, oh my God, 12 people in fucking NSA could actually, if they go through this whole court process, could actually see some data and see the names associated with the data. And oh, we got to do something. So along comes CISPA. And they pass CISA. And now, 10,000 employees of one fucking company can do anything that those 12 people could have done with a court order, a FISA court order, they can do now with a keystroke. And that's one company. How many thousands of companies are now in the same place? So much so that you don't expect any kind of fucking privacy whatsoever anymore. Well, if you're not doing anything bad, why are you worried about privacy? Says the stupid people. That's what they used to say. Now, shit's turned out. The fucking corporations and corporate flunkies are sitting around beating off, looking at fucking live feeds of your children's fucking bedrooms. And that's a fact. That's happening. People's personal fucking images, videos of their fucking vacation or wedding are turning up in ads halfway across the world. And they'll never see it. They'll never know it. Some have started to find it. But it's not theirs anymore. This thing in front of me right now, that's not mine. I just use it. If I produce something that fucking Microsoft wants, it belongs to Microsoft. Thanks to CISPA. Thanks to big business. And, of course, in spite of that dumb fucking jackass telling you, oh my God, all these governments are out to get you, it's bad government, bad government. Here's the reality. The reality is governments are bad because they're bought and paid for by big business. And it's big business that wants to keep you in line. It's big business that wants you to have a social credit score and a workplace credit score. I'll give you a personal example of how this is manifesting itself into some kind of, wildly dystopian. Wildly dystopian fucking. It is 1984, but it's beyond, well beyond anything I could have fucking possibly imagined in my less than creative brain. I'm not a creative like Julie. I'll give you an example. And it's a current example. My credit score is not the greatest. It's about 600. After I got taken off of disability and then got back on disability, slowly started building back up. But I pay my bills every fucking month. And I'm not late. And thanks to some of you guys, I've been able to squirrel away a little money. Thanks to the fact that I quit drinking, I've been able to squirrel away a little money and hang on to it. And so, being sick, I need a fucking vehicle to go back and forth to the doctor's office without fucking Lyft charging me a goddamn arm and a leg. And so, I thought maybe I was in a position to purchase a vehicle. Turns out, the last time I bought a car, the Mitsubishi Eclipse, went to one of these buy here, pay here places and paid it off, and that was it. Not a big deal. I think I had like $600 down or whatever. I have more than that for a down payment. And over the weekend, I've contacted several places knowing full well that I don't have enough to actually purchase a vehicle that works and then get it registered and insured and licensed and titled in my name. All those expenses push back what I have to buy a car, and I'd be buying a fucking car that's in the same fucking shape as the ones I just got rid of. Something I can crawl around under and try to work on just so I can go to the goddamn doctor. So, I figured I had to go to one of these places, and especially since several dealerships have sent me things saying, hey, you're qualified. And as soon as I contact them, not qualified. My income isn't great, but it's not. I have an income. So I would think that I would qualify at least for a buy here, pay here place. I've contacted several this weekend, and they're all excited about it and everything's fine until I give them my social security number and never hear from them again. And it started fucking to feel like back when I was feeling better several years ago, trying to find a job and everything was hunky-dory, and I talked to them and they look at my resume and everything. When human resources got involved, I was just gone, never to be heard from again. I have been on some kind of list. Probably because of obviously the shit that I've been doing since 2007, but I was certainly on some kind of list for finding employment. Well, guess what? It would certainly appear I mean, I've given them, there's nothing hidden in my fucking background. There's no fucking repos. There's nothing that would disqualify me after talking to somebody who does this every day with people. They thought I was all set and ready to go until they plugged in my social security number. And then I just don't ever hear from them again. So my guess is I am probably on one of these lists. The shall not thrive list, that's what I call it. And no, it's not paranoia. This is the world that they are building. And when I say they, I don't mean like that dumb fuck Scottish guy or Irish guy, whatever the fuck he is. I'm talking about these guys. The world that they are creating is one of absolute fucking control. It is one of absolute control. And yes, they will fucking recruit. They will install people in government agencies. Look at how hard they had to work in 2000 to make sure that the Vulcans were in charge on September 11th, 2001. If you think that the biggest problem that you have facing you is some government, then what are you going to do? What are you going to turn to? Where are you going to turn? If you can't trust government, where are you going to turn? Oh, I know. Let's turn to the World Economic Forum and their partners, because government bad. That's the point of all that. That's the point of all that. That and this. This. This is the point of all that. Keeping you dumb, just educated enough to run their fucking businesses so that they can make shit tons of money while the median family income in this country is stagnant, or, as you can see right here, drops. That's the war, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And it's been waged against us since 1980. That's the war. That's the fight. That's where we are. Are governments making choices and certain elements of the government making choices that cause us harm? Fuck yeah, of course. I just showed you that. But they're doing it because they're bought and paid for. They're owned. They're wholly owned subsidiaries of businesses. You want to fix government? Get all business money out of fucking government. Is it possible, as fucked up as our situation is now? Of course it is. Are they going to roll over when they're this close to having complete dominion? No. They're not. It'll be all-out warfare. But if you look at it with your eyes wide open, you can't help but understand. Same thing I understood back in 2010, writing about this shit. It's already open warfare. And little bit by little bit by little bit, they're taking land. They're ceding fucking land. We're ceding fucking land. They're taking it. Now they're gonna, your employers are gonna fucking monitor your entire fucking life. And pretty soon, once everything goes to those fucking chips, not only will they fucking know everything about your life, they'll dictate everything about your life. That, boys and girls, is a plantation planet. And that, boys and girls, is where we're fucking going. And it ain't big biz. It ain't fucking big government doing it to you. It's big business. I know it's difficult to listen to me sometimes because I seem like I say the same things, one flavor or another, over and over again. Yes, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the faux vax is a fucking fake. You know that. They got people on fucking Fox News telling you that. You don't need me anymore. I did that shit for 2.5 years. I lost a YouTube channel for that. You don't need me anymore to tell you the fucking Nazis that we're supporting in fucking Ukraine. You don't need me anymore to tell you that they picked the goddamn fight with Russia so they could destabilize our economies, our fucking systems, to bring about the World Economic Forum's fucking Great Reset. You don't need me to tell you that shit. You got Tulsi Gabbard, of all people, talking about that. You don't need me to tell you that stuff anymore. Okay? I told you that shit back when everybody else that fight's done. So what do we got left? They want you to fucking blame the goddamn lazy workers. While big business makes shit tons of money. It's the lazy workers. It ain't the lazy workers, folks. They want you to blame government. The person who helped you out, the goddamn DMV, the person who brings you your fucking mail, the person who fucking picks up your goddamn garbage. It ain't government. It ain't government. It's not the Chinese. It's not Putin. It's big business. It's big business, and it's the fucking economic ideology that they taught you to live. To make you beggars to your own demise. That's what it was. That's what it is. That's what it shall fucking be. That's called fascism, folks. And I'm still sick. God damn it. Anyway. Have a good Monday. Get out there and be somebody. Remember, they're watching you. They're always watching you. And they're always scoring you. So you get out there and be a good little worker. Oh, what? Why are you, what are you doing? What? Ah! He's got like 3 toys in his mouth. I'll talk to you guys. Bye-bye.